with resurrected eyes. I noticed something here in the text, Pastor Johnson, and that was that when Jesus got Lazarus up from the grave and had the men take off his grave clothes, Lazarus didn't say anything. It's right here. The Lord has called Lazarus from death back to life. And Lazarus says nothing. That bothered me because I was always taught when the Lord has done something for you, you ought to tell somebody else. I was always taught if the Lord has done anything for you, you ought to run and tell that. I was taught that if God has made a way for you, you ought to tell somebody. I was taught that if you've been redeemed, let the redeemed of the Lord say so. But Lazarus, who's been called from death back to life, says nothing. So I had to ask Lazarus, why didn't you say anything? Well, if you don't mind tonight, can I call Lazarus to come by and stop and talk to us tonight? I mean, can I ask Lazarus to come, leave glory for just a minute, and tell us tonight why he didn't say anything? Lazarus, are you here? Yes, Pastor Williams, I am here tonight. Thank you for asking me to come by and talk to the people here at the Rock Springs Baptist Church. Thank you, Lazarus, for coming by tonight, because I'm sure that these people need to know why you didn't say anything when Jesus called you from death back into life. Can you tell us why? Yes, Pastor Williams, I'm going to tell you why I didn't say anything, because somewhere along the way that the reason why I didn't have to say anything is because of this. When I got up from the grave, the reason why I didn't have to say anything is because the evidence speaks for itself. The evidence speaks for itself. And you want to know something, brothers and sisters, here's what I come to find out, and that is when you tell your testimony, some people will not believe you. Some people will criticize your miracle. So sometimes what you need to do is shut up and don't say a mumbling word. Just let the evidence speak for itself. But then Lazarus, before you go back to glory tonight, can you tell us something else tonight about why you didn't say anything? Because I noticed that the text says that Jesus loves you. Lazarus, can you tell us what your testimony is tonight? Since we don't see anything in the Bible that says you said anything, can you give us what your testimony is tonight? Lazarus will tell us tonight, he'll say, well, before I died, my testimony is that Jesus was a friend of mine. Before I died, my testimony was that Jesus loved me. Before I died, Jesus stopped by my house and visited with me for a little while. But now, since he done called me back from death unto life, I've got a new testimony. And the reason why I believe that he called me back from death unto life is because God was not through with me yet. Can I get a witness here tonight? Thank you, Lazarus. You've been going back to glory, and so that we can finish out here in Rock Springs tonight. I want to tell Rock Springs in here, and the good news is that when Jesus has called you back from the things that people saw die in your life, and you're still standing, Jesus told me to tell you that God is not through with you yet. And I get a witness here. I said, God is not through with you yet. I think I need to say it one more time. God is not through with you yet. So what? You lost this job, but God has got something better for you. He is not through with you yet. amazing is what Jesus can do. I'm through when I tell you this story. It said there was a man who went hunting one morning. He and his wife every year planted a vegetable garden. They lived on the backside of the woods. Well, this man decided that he would go and get everything he needed to harvest his vegetable garden. His wife, after helping him gather up all of the crops, she said to him, we've got all of the vegetables that we need for the winter time. We need some meat, however, to go with these vegetables in the winter time. He said, well, I'll get up and go hunting in the morning. Well, he got up around 4 o'clock the next morning, went down to his gun rack, pulled out his old 12-gauge shotgun, went on down to his desk drawer, pulled the drawer open, and he saw he only had 3 shells. The man said, well, I'm going to get something with these 3 shells if it's the last thing that I do. Well, the man got up and went down in the woods. He looked over and saw across the path an old jackrabbit. And the man began to think how much he can have jackrabbit stew. So he loaded the shell into the gun, pointed the gun at the rabbit. He fired his gun, but when he fired his gun, the rabbit jumped one way, jumped back another way. The man missed the rabbit. He went on down and saw down in the thicket, right over in the corner, he saw an old deer right there in the thicket. He said, I'm going to get that deer if it's the last thing that I do. He loaded the gun with the shell, but by the time he fired, the deer had jumped over the bush, and the man missed the deer. Well, he looked and saw he only had 1 shell, and so he went down on his knees and began to pray and said, Father, I'm down to my last shell. Father, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to trust that you're going to let me get some meat with this 1 shell. Well, then, that's just like a whole lot of us in the church. When we have a whole lot, we don't say 1 word to God, but just as soon as we get down to our last dime, we already went to praying, Lord, let me get something from my last. But the man got up, walked a little further, and then the Lord spoke to the man. He said, aim high, aim high. The man looked around, didn't see nobody, but the Lord kept saying, son, aim high. Well, the man walked down a little bit further, looked up over in an old tree, and saw an old wild turkey up on a branch. And the father kept saying, son, aim high. Well, when the man loaded the gun, got ready to fire, here comes an old snake that crawled in front of him and got ready to strike the man. And then the devil got to messing with him and said, if you shoot that turkey, that snake is going to bite fight you. You need to protect yourself. But the Father kept saying, aim high. Well, about that time, another deer come out the thicket. The devil sure got to messing with him. Saying there's no meat in that deer than there is in that turkey. But the Father kept on talking. Son, aim high. Well, when the man decided to do what the Father said, he loaded the gun, aimed it up the turkey. But then the man's foot slipped out the way lead. The gun fired. The bullet left the gun and went through the turkey and killed the turkey. It went back, ricocheted off another branch, went down, the branch fell, hit the deer, killed the deer. The man got happy, he dropped the gun and he killed the snake. I just want to tell you, up in here tonight, whatever you do, the Lord told me to tell you tonight, it's amazing what Jesus can do. Aim high, aim high, aim high, aim Y'all excuse me here. I said, won't he answer prayer? Is there anybody here that's got that testimony?